I've been in the bando with the chick. Well, Jimmy Choo Sando, cause I'm rich.
What's going on? What's going on, man? It's your boy Rich and Fake TV. We always working, we always grinding. We got a special guest in the building. Questions with Cree. How you doing?
Yes, I am doing good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I can't really complain. I'm blessed.
I am blessed. I will say that. To say the least. Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
We've been talking about this for quite some time.
Right.
We didn't just jump on it. Yeah, we've been game planning about it. So you're originally from Atlanta. You're an Atlanta native.
Yes.
So you seen like different people coming to the city from all over the place. You kind of just seen it all transpire for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think it helped the city or it hurt the city?
I think it did both. I think it hurt the residents, but it helped the city. So I feel like it depends on what you're speaking on. If you're speaking on the legacy that the natives had, that's out the window.
That's out the window. That's what I'm speaking on.
So it's like people like me that are from it, it's like, y'all need to go back home. Like y'all doing too much. But for like financially and architecturally and movie wise, all of that is great. Business wise, that's amazing. Yeah. But you still have people that are poor, you know? So how are we the number one city for business and the number one city for poverty? Like it's
it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I feel like they should, create more jobs for natives here in Atlanta. Right. Especially with the movie world, they have created more jobs as far as extras and whatnot. But anything else, just with a lot of out-of-towners coming in here, starting up their businesses, they probably hiring the people that they know from their hometown, not people that.
So it's like you have that one person, they come start a business and they bring all of their people, and it's like we don't have room for that. Like y'all need to figure it out. Not here, figure it out somewhere else.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So one of your interviews with Fold Air Hustle Podcast, shout out to my people. You talked about like how a lot of your friends, like after high school, they moved out and they went other places, and you stayed here in the city, and you stayed here and went to school, and you started your career. What made you make that decision?
Who, child? Because I ain't have a scholarship nowhere else.
I feel that. But you had financial aid, though. I'm sure you could have got grants.
And I did. I really, really liked LSU. And me and my best friend went down there. We went on like a dorm tour, and we had like paid like a deposit. Like we were set to go to LSU. And my granddad said he would pay for it. And he was like, you know what, Cree, I'll pay for it. So you won't be in debt. And then when I started doing research on how much it was for out of state, and I would get $8,000 for financial aid to go towards $40,000, like $48,000 a year. I was like, oh no, this is not worth it. So for 4 years, they gotta, no. And I was like, even though you can afford it, I just don't want to do that, because I feel like that money could go to something else. I don't know what, but something else. And so I was able to get a full ride to Georgia State. So I was like, look, I'm gonna just stay here and just figure it out. Yeah,
that's dope. What did you go to school for?
Broadcast journalism. Okay,
that's dope. And then you also got an opportunity to work with the Hawks and the Dreams. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So I started interning at Georgia State because originally I was going to school for film and video, which was childish because I went to school for film and video. I wanted to be like the camera person, like a sports camera person. I don't know why.
They'll stick that on you. I went to school for digital film, but they'll stick like you'll think it's into like journalism and broadcasting, but it's really like straight camera work.
Straight camera work. And then I was taking tests, and the tests were like 200 questions. I was like, look, I'm switching. The day I took that test, I think I walked out on the test and went and changed my major, because I was like, I'm not about to take a test about cameras. I'm just
I've been there. I really been there. It's tough though. Like people don't understand that.
Like, it's really hard. It's strenuous. And I was like, I'm smart, but I'm not this smart. Like I don't want to be this smart about cameras. Like, and so I changed it, and I was still like interning. So I had already made connections with Georgia State. And then one of the guys that worked there, he's like my big brother now, he worked for the Hawks, the Dream, the Falcons. So he just put me on with all of them. And I was working, at the time I was interning for the radio station, and then I met the hiring manager at the Dream. And just so happened I went to high school with his daughter, and he hired me because he saw how hard I was working with the radio station. And then My big brother now had put me on with the Hawks. So it literally just, I was all, and it was all in the same building too. Yeah. So
that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
It just worked out.
And that's good that you was able to, you know, get a lot of success in your hometown. You know what I'm saying? Without having to leave. That's good. That's really, that'll really make you want to stay. So let's change gears a little bit. So you've been here for a long time. So when did you start seeing like the police brutality get out of hand in the inner city, like in Fulton County? Like what year? What had to happen? What happened?
I would say it took a turning point 2018.
Yeah.
That was when I was actually assaulted by a police officer.
Okay.
And I would say I started paying more attention.
Okay.
So I feel like it was always there. I just wasn't, you know, you don't really care unless it happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I started paying attention after that. And then I realized that, oh my gosh, this is like going on everywhere to so many different people. And then last year, 2020, when the whole George Floyd thing happened, so many stories were coming out and so many families from Atlanta were coming out. And I'm like, wow, your son he got shot 98 times in Atlanta and nobody's talking about this. Mm-hmm. Your son got shot in the face. Your son got shot in the back. Like all of these stories came out and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, where do I live?
Yeah. Like you didn't know all this was going on. But you know what? Atlanta always been really, really racist. When you look at the Martin Luther King days and just seeing how the Caucasians was handling us, they always had like this racist stigma, like in Georgia, period. In Atlanta, I feel like Atlanta was like a hub.
The hub,
and we kind of like over
just
flooded.
Didn't know.
Like as black people, we kind of like over flooded. I'm sorry I ain't trying to be rude.
No, you're right. I'm like, I just didn't know, and I don't know how I didn't know, but you're so right. I just. It was everywhere.
Yeah, it was in the face, especially like Auburn Avenue. It's a good street in Atlanta, but it just put me in the mind of so much like racism and stuff like that. When you hear about the story, how they burnt down Martin Luther King, they came in and shot his mama up when she was performing in the church, you know, all that stuff. It was just like, wow, it was crazy. So I could kind of understand like why you pick, you know, now to really like, you know, take a stand. Did you use some of your influence at the radio station to, you know, spread the word some, or was it?
So again, coming in as an intern, I was just happy to be there. Mm-hmm. I was happy to be there. Didn't see it. I didn't see the influence that came with being in that space. I was so focused on myself and focused on the goal that I had set. Mm-hmm. Okay, Cree, we're here to try to get on the air and get our own show. Like that, just, you know, I was being selfish, extremely selfish. And it wasn't until that police assaulted me, he like knocked some sense into me. Yeah. So, I mean, it was very traumatic, but it also was like, oh my gosh, this is going on. Yeah. And so then when it happened, and then the #1 communications company in the city of Atlanta, probably in the state of Georgia, we weren't talking about it. Yeah. Like nobody was talking about it. I had pitched different initiatives. They all got turned down. And I'm like, y'all, like, hello, like it happened. If it happened to me, it can happen to anybody.
What happened to you though? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. I don't want to be, you know, I'm just curious though. This is curious. I want to know what happened to you in like, and another thing, I want to ask you a question. Like, what happened to you with the whole police situation, and with you speaking out on police brutality? Did it help you in corporate America with some of your corporate jobs?
I would say not really with the whole corporate thing, because corporate they don't want to be political, if that makes sense. They it's like it's a Black Lives Matter, but Black Lives Matter over there. Don't come up in here giving us the details.
Yeah. Because I know you said you work with the Hawks and all that stuff, the Dream.
Right. So I feel like when that particular instance happened and I was essentially silenced by the radio station, I didn't say anything. Like I pretended like it didn't happen.
Why?
Because I genuinely feel like, and this may just be me being weird, I genuinely feel like if you don't say it out loud, it didn't happen. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, you know what? If I just don't say that it happened, if I don't talk about it, it technically didn't really happen. And so that happened in 2018. I didn't start talking about it till 20.
20, yeah. You silence it for like a year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know what to say, because again, we're not in the space where Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't, I'm just going to come in and tell people how
you
mentally
feel, right? Yeah.
I don't feel safe. Like, I'm going to go and tell people this.
Yeah.
And I would kind of talk about it on the radio.
Yeah.
And I would just drop little tidbits here and there, like, hey guys, make sure you're being careful. Make sure you're watching your surroundings. Like, there's a lot of things going on. I would drop hints, but in my mind, I don't feel like me just saying it was enough. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm still like the new person. I've been there, but to Atlanta, I'm the new girl. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
And yeah, they'll listen to the new girl, but it'll sound much better
if it was a more seasoned person.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if somebody that's been on the radio for 20 years plus is saying, hey y'all, or we're having continuous dialogue about it. You get what I'm saying? Or we're bringing police officers in and we're getting their side. Because at the end of the day, some of them feel like they're doing their job. Yeah. And then some of them know that they're doing too much. Yeah. And then some of them know that they could be stopping their peer. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had that open dialogue, I feel like a lot of Atlanta would listen and pay attention, but we don't.
And I feel like for women, y'all should have that open dialogue, because a woman can get sexually assaulted and will not say nothing for like a whole 10 years and then say something. So why is that? Like, I don't want to say man has that type of control over a woman for them to feel, scared to speak up about themselves, speak up for themselves. But why do you think women hold things so long and then say something about it, instead of just jumping right then on it?
Wow, that was a good question.
I'm sorry. I was just wondering, like, I was sorry, I wasn't trying to do that.
No, I know that, but and I can't speak for other women, of course, but I think it's really it's kind of like you're scared. You're scared of the reaction you'll get, like, and you don't want people to tell you that it didn't happen, and you don't want people to try to change how you feel, so you just keep it to yourself, and you don't want to be looked at as crazy. You don't want that, or you don't want to mess up the flow, like, or I know me personally, I didn't want to be a baby about it. Like, I didn't want to be weak, because in that industry, women are already overlooked, so you have to be strong. So coming in and you were literally crying on the elevator, and you had to hurry up and wipe your tears before you go in the studio. It's like, you just, I don't know, you just don't want to be weak.
And I heard you speaking about that. You were speaking to, I don't know where you was at, but you were just telling the people like how much stuff women have to go through, as far as just like having to be assaulted at work, have to be underpaid, not being respected as a full woman, as a person,
like, you're
equal as a man.
Yeah.
So what could my skin, like a black man in position myself, what could we do to, shed more light on that and just say, hey, let's respect these women like they one of us. If a woman gets sexually assaulted by somebody or assaulted by police, we need to act the same way we'll act if it was a man.
I think repetition. So saying it once isn't enough. And that's what I'm learning now. So when I'm telling people to boycott the radio station, I'm thinking, okay, if I say it once, that's good. But no, you have to say it every single day. Like, you have to say it every single day, because it's something that us as women, we live with every single day. Like, so when we feel protected by a man and you are willing to go to bat for us, that energy reciprocates. That gives us strength. Like, while women are very strong, we also are very vulnerable. Like, sometimes we are weak, and sometimes we just want somebody to speak up for us. And so it wasn't even that I was like trying to be weak. I just wanted someone to be strong for me, because at that moment in my life, I didn't know I didn't know what happened. I didn't know why it happened. I was just questioning everything, and I didn't have any answers. I just felt like I was by myself. And when you feel like you're by yourself, that kind of makes you jaded, And I feel like you as a man can continue to just speak up. Make sure you're encouraging other men. Look, make sure you're asking your girl, is she okay? Even though she look okay, ask her, is she okay? Because you just never know what somebody's going through. So many people are like, Cree, you're so strong, you look so strong. And I'm like, y'all, I be crying. Like, I be tired. Like,
I understand that. Yeah.
Mentally tired. And so to have a man be like, y'all, look, pay attention to her. Listen to what she's saying. Like, she went through something and she's trying to prevent y'all from going through the same thing. Yeah. Like, just listen. Like, sometimes it just takes that, what's it called? That cosign. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what you could do. Just cosign for us, because we have voices, but I promise you, we have to scream, shout, stomp, and cry. Yeah. You know, versus a man come in and be like, look.
Well, no, you have a major influence though. No,
you think so?
Yeah. Just with the whole questions for Cree and people calling and asking for your advice and you helping people and picking people's spirits up. Like, you have a major influence. So where do you get a lot of your motivation from?
Oh, child, I don't know how to get it. I honestly, I would have to say God.
Yes.
And just the energy that has been put into the world. So I spend a lot of time just by myself and just thinking about the people that don't have the strength to speak up or don't have the confidence to speak up. And I feel like that's where I get my energy from.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's like, you know what? Because you don't have the energy to show up for yourself, you just gave me more energy because I need you to show up for yourself. So the need and desperate want for people to like be the best they can be and live a better life and live their full potential. That's where I get my energy from. Okay. Like, cause I feel like I don't need to give energy to somebody that has energy. Yeah. I need to give my energy to all these people that feel like they're not good enough. Yeah. To all these people that are succumbing to the pressures of society or succumbing to segregation and discrimination. That's where I get my energy from. It's kind of weird. It's like, you know, some people are like, I get my energy from my mom or my family. And I do get energy from them. Yeah. But when I'm out like on stage, I get it from the people because I can feel it. You the GOAT, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm really like honored to have you on my platform, have you on the show, because you really, I don't even think you might realize it, but I don't think like a lot of people is realizing what you're doing right now to 10, 20 years from now when you like, probably, I wanted to ask you this question too, like when you probably the vice president or the president. You know what I'm saying? Some people like run for mayor.
Yeah, run for mayor. Like like I know it takes some time, you know what I mean, to keep your face card, keep doing it. But man, like you really important to the society, like to the community. That's why I had to have you here.
You made me cry.
No. Let's take a break. We're gonna take a break. Let's take a break. So you had the pleasure to work with Lil Baby. Did you somebody